Absolutely no visual damage. And remember, this was the preview build damage. Once again, we try. Oh, look at that. We finally got some damage on the indicator. About 4 months ago, I made a video about the damage model, and I was complaining massively about it because if you saw on that clip, there was massive amounts of rear wing damage in the preview build, but for some reason, it got removed when the game released. But now look at this. It is back, and I am very, very hyped for it. And look at how good it looks every time we hit the barrier with our rear. Every time we do that, we get even more and more damage. And this is really awesome. If you can see here, the Ineos logo almost completely off there, which is great to see because it means that they have the licensing to be able to make a damage model that does distort the logos, and it looks really good. And here is what happens when you try to drive with rear wing damage, and this isn't even red damage. So you can see just how much it affects the downforce on the rear, and it's quite substantial. So if you have this amount of rear wing damage, then you are definitely screwed. So you really want to protect your rear wing. Of course, I do also have side pod and floor damage, so that also does affect it. But it is mainly the rear wing damage, and you can see bouncing over the curbs every time. Even in slow speed corners, you really lose the rear end. If you can see on the bottom right, our tires are completely fine. The rears aren't too hot, but you can see still the rear goes. And I've noticed that if you do make contact with other cars, you don't get as much damage as you would if you made contact with a barrier. So I guess if you aren't spinning off and into the barriers too often, you should be pretty fine. But you can really see every time we turn in, the rear just goes instantly. It's not even like a slow progression of it. We just have absolutely no grip, as you can see, bouncing over the curbs. And those curbs at Imola are absolutely brilliant, as you can see there. Absolutely no chance to save it. We barely even turned into a little bit of a kink, and you can even see on the replay, absolutely mad. If you ever get rear wing damage, I would highly recommend going into your pit window menu on your MFD and selecting the lowest amount of front wing angle that you can, then pitting and having them change that front wing angle, because it will really help with the rear downforce. And my final thoughts, if you have this amount of rear wing damage, then you should just retire the car, because it's absolutely impossible to drive. Even if you try to do the little front wing trick, it will still be very, very tough.